betwixt the raising of the undying emperor and the great planar war that shook the heavens, there was an age of contradiction, where cannons won kingdoms and muskets kept the peace. A brave few won the hearts of the conquered and conquerors alike. Of these we speak of the decline of the great kingdoms and cultures under the heel of empire. Of those we speak of gladiators and the untold thousands that worshipped them. Of this an age of glory, where kings would be slaves and a gladiator would be king.
Woohoo! Spreadsheets. Good afternoon and welcome to DieDragonDie presents the Dread and Circus campaign, episode 16. I'm your DM and host, Marty, joined by Adam, Mark, and Ahmed. How is everyone doing this fine Saturday afternoon?
Not too bad.
Good. Busy with kids running around.
Yeah,
Mark's chair.
Mark's chair. Mark's chair says, Saturday, blah. Ahmed, you were showing me something cool beforehand. Do you want to show off your education with your children?
Oh yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
No. All right, so my kids are now playing D&D, and I'm their DM, and they are. I take them around a very simple world. This is one of my kids. Say hello. Okay, now get out of here. All right. Now, this is come here, buddy. This is the world. This is the castle. Perfect. No. Okay, go. All right. This is their castle, and this is their town. Let's see what else is going on. This is their barkeep.
You look suspiciously like Ahmed.
I like showing them this because they get the idea that they can actually draw instead of just getting pictures. Gets them busy. This is one of their guards, one of their night guards. This is a wizard that they has never seen his face. He just was always casting, but he talks to them from his back. This is a wolf that they fought. It's not really a normal wolf, but a wolf thing. It's pretty awesome. They beat it somehow. This is equipment for one of the guys. Swords and shields and stuff. What else is there? So far, that's it. Yes, they started drawing already. It's good. It's working.
It's awesome. Are you using dice, or are you just describing?
Oh, yeah. Character sheets are very light. Dice, like, they roll, and I'm like, okay, let's give them an extra dice. Yeah, they roll 3 dice, sure. Kind of thing. Oh, you win. Okay, good.
There's a kids game that Monty Cook put out. What is the name of this thing? It was like No Thank You Evil, is it? That might have done all the drawing for you. Yeah, No Thank You Evil. You should probably check this out, Ahmed, if you've got kids that you want to roleplay with.
Oh, thank you, evil.
Yeah.
All right.
He's one of the D&D writers that has come up with the most bizarre fucking places. Like, he was the main writer for Planescape. His Numenera stuff is really weird. But him and this other woman came up with this kind of imagination game, which is effectively you have really simple character sheets and such. A wild
cool.
Mark with a Q appears. Quinta liking the Qs. Nice. How are things going, Mark?
Good to know. Cues are awesome.
Mark,
Yeah, I'm
how you
good.
doing? Yeah?
Good.
Your mustache coming in nicely?
Thank you.
I like the little thing
Your
that you
beard's almost
the
there,
little
too.
square. I like the square as well.
The fullness of it makes it look less inappropriate. For a while, it looked somewhat.
Hey man, it doesn't grow. It doesn't grow automatically. You gotta let it. You gotta let it grow in.
You have to get
I
a good sneeze
understand. You
built
got
up.
to
and you
avoid the
sneeze
playgrounds for a while. That's all.
Weird. Adam, how's work going?
Work is kicking my ass, but it's interesting. I will be in the great metropolis of, or the great nearby area of Detroit all next week. It will be fun. I should be back for Saturday, maybe Friday.
Cool.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
I would have no reason to ever go there.
Michigan itself is a very pretty state.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like Ontario.
Yeah, but it's very much that's very apt. It's a very good way of putting it. I'll have a new neighbor. My last neighbor got evicted. That's always fun too, just as a thing. Yeah. So yeah, there's all sorts of stuff happening outside.
All sorts of yelling and furniture being thrown around. All right.
Oh, that was all last. That was all during the week. Don't worry, I have my.
It's full of potholes, though. Pretty much Ontario. I don't know if.
We actually had a pothole in it was I think it was up in Vaughan, sort of northwestern chunk of Toronto, where a gape opened in the hole so bad, or gape opened in the earth so bad that like 1 in 4 cars that went over it popped the beads on all 4 tires. So there's just like a stack of dead cars on the side of the road, where you might have damaged 4 rims, and you've most definitely
that's no pothole. It's the devil's anus.
It's the devil's anus. Yeah, there's a big.
Yes,
big suit going on
I
against the
just
city.
watched Thor Ragnarok for the first time, and you know what? Deadpool ruined superhero movies. That's basically my theory. Is now everything is so fucking irreverent that there's nothing serious anymore. And watching Thor slapstick is
bring it right back.
yeah. No,
Infinity
the pendulum will swing backward. But watching the Thor character kind of like slapstick his way through that movie was painful.
Through genocide. There was a genocide on his planet, and all the warriors died. Like their warrior race had all the warriors die.
Right.
You had 10,000. It's like 10,000 dudes die. Hulk cock joke.
You're exactly. You're allowed to have like humor, and characters can laugh at things in movies, but they went full on. Nothing serious. Nothing is serious while there's serious things going on, and it was too much. It was too much for me. Like it was like the pendulum has swung way too far to the comedy side of the house.
So you're not going to go see Deadpool 2? Because that looks awesome.
No, Deadpool was like appropriate. It's like this is the character. I'm a super irreverent asshole. Everyone else around him isn't. It's when every character now starts acting like that, where everything just sort of like, well, what's the point of us watching this anymore? Like there's like the dramatic tension just is kind of like, meh. Like, is it a comedy? No. Is it Marvel fucking comedy hour? No, it's not. Why are you beating us over the head with laugh stick? It's I don't know, man. Maybe call me a grognard or a curmudgeon, but it was just too much. Too much. Otherwise there were some cool things going on in that movie. Hulk fighting Thor. That was pretty fucking awesome. Actually didn't mind this slightly humorous like slave lord character. He was like the perfect aristocrat, just on another level of asshole. There were some of the things he did that were funny. Okay, fine. But yeah, the serious things going on, and all of them were acting like
10,000 soldiers killed. Cut to cock joke.
Right.
Hella just genocided. All of them.
Yeah.
Cock joke.
Yeah, it's like they weren't allowed to feel any other emotion aside from this irreverent sort of stupidity. But Deadpool's a great character, but everyone in Deadpool isn't fucking Deadpool. Right, that's the thing. Every
No,
fucking
the whole point
superhero,
is it's only Deadpool.
it's only him. You get a little bit of this in what's the one with the Groot and Guardians of the Galaxy. You get this sort of like, we're all going to be this way and quipping back and forth. All right, they're kind of like an adventuring party. But now it's every character in that verse, and it's not even probably going to be in that verse as well. It's going to cross over into other things. Yep. Rant end. Now let's all be irreverent with every single character in our game and see how that goes. Everyone, nothing serious will ever happen in this campaign going forward because we're going to adopt the times. All right. 8 heads are better than 5 was the name of the last game with those that were on the Road of Sorrow. The story is, or the summary is very short. The party of gladiators continue their battle with the dread Hydra spawn of Chella the Azure, while at the same time facing their former captives upon the sands. Some of the key things that happened: 4 of the guards survived. Barak Tarn, a copper dragonborn with some strong copper blood in his veins, copper dragon blood in his veins, survived at the end of that fight because he pretended to be dead in an earlier fight, and then as you were going through the gate, you started calling him Zamocles. Zamocles, also a bronze, coppery-looking dragon. The guards didn't seem to care, so you've got this dragonborn that is now following you around. He didn't attack you. It's almost like he didn't know what to do with the axe and the shield that he was carrying in battle. Ratimer was there to offer his almost sarcastic response to your fight, wishing you well, but there just seemed to be something a little bit hollow with Ratimer's response, like he was disappointed that something didn't happen. The dragon people of Drakkar, however, seem to celebrate your victory with a ceremony. You in order to leave the pits of Drakkar, you were basically forced to take on a tattoo. This tattoo was the Azure mark. Each of the gladiators that faced and killed a spawn of Chella the Azure received this mark. This mark is something that very few gladiators may very well have, because they would have had to face a monstrous spawn of their local goddess now, an ancient blue dragon that once ruled over this domain, and perhaps this entire duchy. So I think we decided where...
Shocking, bolting each other, going, ha, does it hurt?
Right. The Azure mark gives you electrical resistance equal to your character level, and then we made some decisions as to where those Azure marks would have been placed on each of your characters. Afterwards, Ratimer was able to arrange some further training for you guys, and maybe it might be worth to kind of go through what those training activities were. Arlen, I believe, leveled up. So he's a level 3.
Correct, sir. Arlen leveled up, and he also got a quick channel.
As a 3rd level feat, you took Quicken Channel. Cool. What about Sam? Did you finish leveling up to 4th?
Yes, I did. Cool. Barely. Sam leveled up in Brawler. He took he put a point in Dex. He learned how to dance. He punches harder and better than before. More punchy punch.
Got it. And you got a feat because of your Gestalt.
Yeah,
class.
the feat's weapon focus on armed strike, so that he can use his Brawler power to give himself weapon specialization on armed strike.
Nice.
To help with his really poor damage output.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ugg, the stream helped with the build for Ugg. Ugg went up in Brawler Strangler. Brawler Strangler. And then his Gestalt is Barbarian.
Deadly.
Brawler Strangler basically allows him, or he treats whenever he grapples as if he is flanking and sneak attacking an opponent. This stacks with his sneak attack from sneak attack from Rogue. So effectively, he's doing 2d6 sneak attack anytime he grapples to damage or pin an opponent. And he's got a bunch of the standard brawler type powers. At second level is where this is Pimp. This is the reason why he took this archetype. He doesn't lose his dexterity bonus to AC when he's grappling. At 9th level, he still threatens the area around him and doesn't lose all of those penalties when he's pinning an opponent. Basically, he'll step on you and still act like he's on the field ready to punch. So that is basically pretty much forcing us down the brawler path for a significant portion of his build. He's still pretty feat light, given that he's only got 3 levels. But he's got a lot of hit points now, and he's ready to rock. 4th level, he put his extra ability point in Dex just to round it out to 18. Edward has a training activity, but he didn't have enough XP to go up to 4th. He was he had just leveled to 3rd right before the fight, so I don't think there's anything that he really did at this point.
Did he want to maybe learn a spell?
Maybe I'll put down here that he's got some time to learn spells from Radimer. Basically, he'll use that time to maybe pen a few other spells into his mage's book. It'll take some time to do. I won't do that on stream. Snowbeard, Mark.
Yeah, I went up. I leveled up, and I went up a level in Urban Barbarian. So now I can jack his regrettable 14 strength to 22. Quite respectable.
With his mutagenic mauler and his Urban Barbarian for a short period of time.
Yeah. If he with Urban Barbarian, you can decide to put you get a +4 morale bonus to either strength, dex, or con, but there's no bonus to there's not an extra +4 for con. Like normally your regular bonus is +4 strength, +4 con. This is just +4 to one of the 3, but there's no AC penalty, and unfortunately, there's no will save bonus.
So he's a 4th level dude now, right?
No, he's 3rd.
I thought he was 4th.
No, he's 3rd.
3rd, okay. Well then, I made some edits on your sheet, assuming he was 4th. How is he 4th with Fighter 2, Mutagenic Brawler 1, and Urban Fighter 1? Or should that be Fighter 1?
Say what?
Your class says Fighter 2, Mutagenic Mauler 1.
No, he's Fighter 1. That might be. I didn't edit it. I started.
Okay. You started going up Fighter 2 and then decided.
I started going up
Fighter
2 and decided, no, I'm better off.
Okay.
Hey, Marty, I'm also missing a cheating
thinking.
class. I mean,
All right. So I'm gonna. We need to fix your hit
It's
points
Fighter
then,
1.
and your BAB. I went and fixed your things, basically saying you didn't finish
Oh.
leveling up. So BAB 3, hit dice 2d10 plus 1d12 plus.
So you saw one thing wrong, assumed it was right, and everything else was wrong.
I assume that your levels are correct.
You assumed wrong. Sir.
Oh god.
Poop flinging has begun.
All right, so he should have 20 plus 12 plus, it looks like 6 plus.
It's not Pavlov. Who's the guy who says the easiest explanation is the correct one?
Occam's razor.
Occam. Occam. Hey, Occam, how you doing?
Snowbeard is level 3. Okay, that makes more sense than don't lie. Oh, this line is important. Fuckers. I thought he was kind of fast. I'm like, you got 4th fast, but there's so many characters that I wasn't. There is one place where I'm looking at it.
And because I took a rank in Perform, I can't even remember what. He's
Acting.
got a total combat performance check of 0 now.
Sweet.
Yeah, you can do it. Come on.
Okay, that makes more sense that you took extra rage at 3rd level because you got. Okay, this makes much more sense. I did change the name of his weapon to Snowbeard's Prick. as we discussed before.
Okay, yeah.
And then he looks all right. Edward, Roger Redgull. His one training activity was Gestalt. He moved his fighter into Gestalt and took Ranger Divine Marksman 4, which just gave him a pile of other feats. He is super awesome with his crossbow, which he hates. he hates his weapon.
Roger's the best guy.
He
Roger's the best gladiator we have on the Road of Sorrows. Like, it's just no...
He absolutely hates his crossbow.
Primitive piece of crap.
Right. It's so fun to play. I'm so glad we found him. And then Barak Tarn also got some training as well, given that he is now a new gladiator that Radimer owns. I mean, the same gladiator that Radimer owns. Barak Tarn disappeared during the training time to go visit a not very often visited shrine of Bahamut. And he was trained as an enlightened paladin, scaled fist monk, and he's got his first level of half-dragon.
How does he feel about the zombie-wielding master? Or the skeletal...
You'll have to ask him.
How you feel, big guy?
These paladins exude an aura of law as opposed to aura of good. So he might be a little bit more accepting. Right, yep. He can't smite evil. He smites the person he wants to smite for less damage. He calls it a personal trial. And there are a bunch of other changes to the paladin. And he'll end up punching as opposed to using his claws. He's a little bit weak, but then again he's just a third level character. 1 level is a template. His stats will eventually be god tier, but this is basically what we rolled up randomly after the stream. No, I think it was during the stream we rolled it up, and then on Thursday we decided on his class. The stream helped pick. He gets to add his charisma bonus instead of his wisdom to his stunning fist, so eventually he'll be like a stunning fister. Or a really good one. Okay, this is the Caravan of Sorrow. Unwin is still first level. He hasn't got enough XP for second. He hasn't done a lot. The gladiators and the slaves do get little bits of XP, even though they are not involved in fights as time goes on. All right, so Radimer has arranged for your training. Apparently, the money that he made for you guys fighting and defeating Chella the Azure paid for this training. I believe that there was the name of the master who basically looked down upon all of you.
He's not so bad.
What was his
name? Could be worse.
He hates us.
His name was Nukumi Ball. I'm on the City of Pagoda's map. Yeah, Nukumi Ball basically thinks that you're all just like lessers. So you think that you're the pinnacle of gladiators because you managed to luckily kill a beast. You're pathetic. You should realize how pathetic you are. It is the only way you might survive. Through luck and admission of your own faults.
Is this right after?
Yeah, this is during this is during the training. Yes.
Oh, training. Okay, yeah.
You think they're going to take pity on you, Arlen? In your little chair.
My war chariot. Smiles. It's a broken smile, but it's a smile.
You? What happens when you don't have your fancy potion to drink?
Go fuck yourself.
All right, so
kill the Hydra, jackass.
Snowbeard spends part of that training lesson all knocked out.
I'm sorry.
They're going to always target you. What are you going to do while you're strangling one opponent and 5 others are beating you to death? And he has 5 of his other monks come out and beat the crap out of Ugg. So you can hit the broadside of a barn, but you can't break any of the wood. He points to like an old building that needs to be demolished, and he wants you to start demolishing it with your hands.
Punch it down. Punch it down.
Sam's hands are bloody by the time the afternoon break comes. Your magic and your blade are your crutch. At least he has an excuse. He slaps his blade out of Edward's hands, and then keeps on hitting him in the mouth whenever he's trying to cast. And then he gets around.
Combat casting.
Roger.
Roger's awesome.
You were good with guns, and now you're good with this thing. What happens when you run out of bolts? They're soon going to understand that to give you any bolts is their death. Yo, I can fight, and then Roger's not as good with with his sword, which he is forced to practice with for a time. Yes, this master is the most condescending asshole that you guys have met for master-wise. But at least he is showing you your weaknesses, and it is from those weaknesses that he hopes to train you better. Basically, he's saying that, yeah, you guys have your one-trick ponies. What about the rest of you?
But Snowbeard can't help but make fun of him and get beat up again.
Right.
Sure, you can fight with a blade, but what are you going to do when they cut off your hands and set you on fire? Oh.
Snowbeard goes as far as earning a shot of fiery breath weapon from Nezumi Ball. From Nakumi Ball. Yeah, he is able to burn Snowbeard, and that is not very pleasant. He also brings out some of the younger monks that serve him. Apparently, he's got a lot of like red dragon born that follow him, and every once in a while they walk up to Snowbeard and like breathe a D6 fire kind of breath weapon.
Everybody walks over burps. Walk by
Until he really loses his temper.
Right. It is a miserable training exercise. Arlen gets pushed out of his chair a whole bunch of times. Sam is just demolishing this building, and apparently they take great glee in taking the sword and crossbow away from Roger, so that they're scrambling around with things that they don't normally use.
Periodically, Snowbeard leaves his training to go push Arlen out of his chair, and then just goes, "I'm helping."
The master doesn't seem to know what to do with this, but he doesn't stop it from happening.
That's the worst thing.
Poor Arlen. Poor Arlen. But you guys do level and get a little bit better for your horrible training and time that you will look back upon and know that, like a callus on a hand, he was trying to forge you into something else. It will make you stronger, but during this time, he was the yelling drill sergeant of doom. Soon you leave the city of pagodas. Let's have a look at it one last time. You begin to you leave the Dragonborn city crawling with kobolds. There are people that nod to you every once in a while when they realize that it's the people that faced the spawn of Chela the Azure. You collect up after some time of training and begin the long, arduous march back down the mountain road. I have the entire caravan here. Off to the side.
Where are we? Road of Sorrow?
City of Pagodas for now.
City of Pagodas to the left.
To the left.
Oh, sorry.
Always to the left. I've got a better token for Beric Tarn. Let me grab that. This is his "I've leveled up in actual classes" token.
Zamocles.
Oh, right. There is no Baraktarni. It's Zamocles, the paladin born under lies.
Barracles. No?
Zemitarn.
Imitarn.
There, this token.
Alright.
It's the paladin of lies.
It's Thunderlips the Second.
All right.
Paladin of cowardice.
You're in the hymn, and Unwin the understudy will ride with his new master. Where are you guys riding?
Shotgun, baby.
I believe we're riding in our champion's carriage.
Okay.
Champion.
I swear, if you tie me to the back again. It's like
Baraktarn
like a trailer.
is shown to the back of the wagon where Yukog, Yungrumi, and Yagog may have also received training during their time here. The surviving Stygian soldiers are also shown to the back of the wagon.
I prefer not having Baraktarn with them.
Oh. So this is Radima.
Zamocles should be with us.
Zamocles.
No.
They're always so intelligent.
No?
No. We arrived here with a dragonborn in the cart. We leave here with a dragonborn in the cart.
Are they going to miss the barrel?
He doesn't seem to respond to your name question. But
Zamocles, don't worry about the barrel.
Snowbeard,
Okay.
can you make sure they are all shackled and fashioned?
Oh, yeah. All right, everybody put their fingers on the bars. Whack!
He sends Roger over as well, given that this was Roger's old job. He's like, sorry. Fuck you, Roger. This is one of the Stygian soldiers. How come we have to ride in the cart?
Sour about.
Roger's like, I don't know. The soldiers are miserable. We faced Chella as well. We fought the Hydra and won.
Well, sometimes you just gotta have a champion's attitude to get to ride in the champion's cart.
They do not like this answer. Baraktarn just seems to be resigned. That he looks like he's happy to be away, like leaving the city that had condemned him to death, and he just puts his hands forward and accepts the bonds.
Arlen's making he's making a relationship with him.
Excuse me?
He was not sorry. He listened, like Arlen. He got up because Arlen was pushing him to move forward during the fight, right?
Yep, Baraktarn did. Yep.
Yeah. So Arlen is proud of him and always supporting him and just being a good friend.
Okay, well you haven't seen him much. Basically, after you got your tattoos, he was paid for separate training than you guys did. He went to go train under somebody else. So,
Some priest guy.
Yep. It's a good thing for when you're traveling. Basically, you're trying to make friends with them, is what you're saying. So you wheel up to him now. He's just sitting in the cart. He's looking around. He glances over towards Arlen. You have his attention.
Hopefully things will get better. We wouldn't have to deal with a Hydra again. I hope not. But I'm glad you're with us.
Fucking necromancer's trying to kill us, I think. This is one of the
It's
Stygian
possible.
soldiers.
No, it's possible, but he did train us, yes?
He's not trying to kill us. We would have got the tattoos. Besides, Zamocles was an asshole.
Was it you guys thirsty? Starts pouring the water out. Pouring water out of his hand.
Yagog, Yungrumi, and Yukog basically muscle their way to where the water is being dispensed, and they drink first.
Good job.
In order.
Yeah, it is in order. Dwarves first, then these schmucks.
Wait, sorry. The dwarves drink first.
Yeah,
Right.
the dwarves push the
Sure.
men off to the side, and you're not even sure they understand your language yet. They push the men off to the side. They're much stronger than these men, and they end up getting handfuls of water first.
Sure. I thought it was. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I thought it was the men that did that. Like, no. You a-holes stay in the back.
They also slightly bathe as well. Like they splash when they're done drinking. They splash their faces full and beards full of water.
Yeah, I'll splash them. Yeah.
Okay. Beric Tarn just glances at this. He seems to be taking note of the hierarchy in the cart.
And then I get to make sure everyone else drinks.
Okay.
And
the soldiers. Beric Tarn's hesitation leads the soldiers to then taking their drink out of Arlen's hands.
Alright, so new guy. I guess I'm supposed to make nice, so, sorry I tried to cave your head in. But, hey, rules in the game, right?
He nods ever so slightly. He seems to accept your apology without saying anything.
And I probably won't pee on you while you sleep. I'm just kidding, I probably
it's not a guarantee. He might. I'm just saying.
Hey, he glances back at Arlen and looks at Snowbeard with
He's like,
confusion, cracks his face.
He's right. He's right. He's telling the truth. I probably
He does.
I drink a lot, and then I jump up on the cage and I pee on you guys. Don't pee in the cage. That's all I gotta say.
We'll make sure your food is clean and ready.
I would prefer not, he says. And as he kind of shows you his hands, you do notice that Beric Tarn's claws are very sharp.
Huh?
He said he'd prefer not.
I'm sure they'd prefer not to, but they've had a number of pee-pee pads. Haven't you, boys?
Fucking dwarf.
Hey, you're going to offend your cellmates.
They can't understand what we're saying.
Oh, can't they?
Just try it, dwarf.
You just wait. Dwarven mating season's coming up soon.
That's not Beric Tarn just shakes his head and he looks away, like he's not happy with that kind of talk. Stygian soldiers like, that's not a thing, talking amongst themselves. Roger finishes locking things up. You fucking traitor, Roger. Roger just shaking his head, he muttering angrily to himself. More things change, the more they stay the same, is what he says. Here, give this back to our new master, he says. He throws the keys at Snowbeard.
No, Snowbeard grabs the keys. All right.
I'm gonna go oil my fucking crossbow.
Yeah, Snowbeard will hand the keys over, and he's gonna sit in the back of the cart and see if Radimer minds.
No, the cart seems less full. The desert drake the corpse looks like it's been preserved and packed away. It's been wrapped in a tarp and ropes. And where there were once 10 bodies, there are now 10 desiccated skeletons with their skin kind of like almost freeze-dried against their forms, stacked up like cordwood. They're also a lot less smelly. It looks like they've cleaned out the cart.
Oh, it looks like I'm not the only one who got a bath.
Mr. Pickles is sitting inside sitting inside the rib cage of one of the ossuary guardians. You can see it moving around a little bit underneath the chain shirt that it's wearing.
Okay.
Yeah, Radimer doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
He seems to be quizzing Undwind on something. Undwind is dutifully but nervously going through the answers. Wizard stuff. Undwind seems very nervous, however, when you climb into the cart and his answers are starting to be really distracted. Lots of stuttering.
Mm-hmm.
Radimer glances.
Every now and then, just because he's an immature child, as Undwin's talking, he'll just go, penis.
What?
I didn't say anything. What?
You said a word, he says.
What word? Hey, the master's asking you a question. You better answer.
Yes, he is
Penis.
teaching you a valuable lesson, Undwind. You will not always be in safe quarters when you have to make decisions based off of your knowledge. Yes, Master Fink.
Then he, Snowbeard licks his finger, goes around to the opposite side, gives him a wet willy, and goes, penis, penis, penis.
Ah! I will cast cantrips at you, is what he says.
I don't know what those are, but don't you dare.
Charm's trying to ignore all of you while he's doing some figuring. I do believe we will have enough, is what he says to Radimer. Radimer just nods. No one told me there'd be so much paperwork and figures owning a bunch of slaves and gladiators. You're lucky, is what he says over his shoulder to Snowbeard.
Yeah. I can think of 4 we can dump.
Yes. I hear that the Duergar of Vyvernas have concocted some very interesting arenas. It is our next stop.
Oh. Duergar.
Yes, dark dwarves. Yes, there's a
Kenny, how
duel.
you doing?
There is a dual duchy of Vyvernas. Humans rule the surface, and the dark dwarves rule the underrealm.
Oh.
Yes, this duchy is a duchy of 2 peoples. Apparently, the Duergar have been slaving perhaps even longer than the Imperium has, and taught the Imperium a thing or two. Their capitulation a long time ago allowed them to keep their culture, to keep their power in the region. Of course, some things had to change. Of course, they could not allow the dukes of Vyvernas to continue to mentally dominate all the wyverns of the region.
Dark dwarf.
I know I'm not at that conversation, but come again?
Yes, it is now fallen under Imperial Magi control. The devices that allow for control of the wyverns.
Oh, good. Can't we go somewhere else?
It is along the way. The northern routes are unforgiving and full of bandits. And worse. We will go to Vyvernas and see who survives these pits.
Oh, no.
Much money is to be made with your blood. And he's glancing more towards towards the other caravan. Undwind looks afraid at that sentence. Like that's not a reassuring thing to Undwind, and Joram is pretending to busy himself in the tablets. I know that Snowbeard now has ranks in sense motive, so like
Yeah.
Snowbeard knows that like watching what other people do is probably a good way to also know like how far he can push things and whose people's buttons are.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed, all roads are automatically populated bandits.
Yep. All
As in all
sewers have
construction-
either dire rats or crocodiles in them.
Well, what do you think the crocodiles eat?
Exactly.
I got a 19 on that sense motive.
There's an Odiug in there somewhere.
Yeah, you're able to pick up basically the basics of this. Radimer is actually given thought to your suggestion of I know 4 that I can get rid of. Like Radimer's already planning to get rid of them.
Well, if there's anything I can do to help, Master, you just let me know.
I'm sure that Vyvernas has many places to get rid of unwanted things.
I'm sure they do.
This Barak Tarn, this Zamocles of ours, he will keep his mouth shut, yes?
I think if you tell him to, yeah.
He seems to want to leave this place. It must be to the color of his scales. I imagine copper dragons are not very welcome in a place ruled by blue, backed by red.
I don't know, I just figured it had something to do with them sentencing him to death, so whatever I know.
Yes, he was sentenced to death as his family are rebels of sorts.
Ha! Didn't seem that rebellious, to be honest.
One-hit die rats and one-hit die spiders. I've got spiders in my basement. Arachnids. All right, the caravan begins to move out. Down the mountains we go. Bortho actually comes over and says, "Oh, let me help you with that, Arlen. I've installed a ramp." As he hooks on basically this board with hooks, and he pushes you up into the master's wagon.
Oh, that's very considerate of you, Bortho. Thank you. I appreciate it.
He's nodding. He's nodding with his many chins, just sort of like wrinkling as he does so.
What did he end up being?
Bortho wanders back to the wagon full of your supplies and pulling an extra horse.
Huh.
What's that?
Wheelchair. Look at it.
What's that? Oh, his battle chair. It's gonna get bad. It's gonna get better.
War chariot.
All right. So, am I getting the order correctly? It is the noble or the death cart, the noble covered wagon, the supply train, and then the slave train.
I
prisoner
think
cart?
it's the... Yeah, sure.
All right.
Okay. And how many guards does Radimer have? 4?
None.
Oh, he's got these guys.
Oh,
He has one ossuary. He has 2 ossuary guardians.
Right. So we have basically nobody guarding the back.
you're the guards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Roger's gonna not ride in luxury. I think he's gonna ride, given that this is like the same territory.
He's gonna
attacked by
He's
drakes.
gonna ride crossbow.
Yeah, he's gonna ride crossbow. Yeah.
I think we should have someone with old Whitey. You need just in case they get attacked.
Oh,
Those
I'll
8.
go keep him company. I'll go keep him company.
No.
Not you. I'm talking to the guys in my thing, not you. Sam.
There is only one way to solve this.
Sam.
Shall we play rock, paper, scissors?
Whoever's going, they should have the key just in case we need to open the cage.
I know a bunch of monks who know that one answer is always correct in that.
I'm
But I
guessing
think
that
they
it is
were proven
always
wrong.
rock.
I think they were proven wrong.
We have those thick-headed people in my land as well. They tend to be the nobles, but yeah.
Yeah, thick head is good. Harder to crack.
I don't see how paper wins any of that. Sizok.
Paper's what has us stuck in here.
Huh?
He's talking about the paperwork. He's being a funny guy. So, yeah, it's all right.
Ugg is now contemplating what you're saying.
Yeah. So,
We just need to find the right scissors.
And with his like just his pulled back lips and his awful teeth, Imperials certainly do like their papers. Ugg is
Yeah,
smart. He gets what you're saying.
So whoever's gonna go, I think it would be a good idea to take the keys to that cage with them, but hide them, and just in case we need to let them have a fighting chance if anything attacks. All right?
Who's got the keys right now? Says Ugg. Is it Radimer?
Radimer's got the keys.
Well, you figure this out. Sam digs in to eat something. I have to pick up Jessica from the train station.
Sam's eating a lot. That boy's hungry. Want some more?
My hands still hurt.
Edward loses the game of paper rock scissors. He will grab the keys from Radimer, and go and sit in the cart with old Whitey. Is anyone guarding the cart with Bortho and your supplies?
The Ugg, I guess.
Snowbeard goes for a while till he's kicked off for being an asshole.
So what's it like being that fat? I mean, it's got to be hard.
I think Ugg might go second.
He just doesn't know how to answer your questions. He ends up turning for side of part of the journey and is trying not
When
to
is
cry.
the last time you saw your own penis?
Are you trying to play up the 4 charisma, Mark?
Yeah.
Got it. Bartho's just like, you're vile, is what he says. You're vile. But he's also afraid of you because you're a gladiator and he's not. So he doesn't kick you out.
Oh.
It is a sign of being blessed, is what he finally says. You've muted yourself, Mark. I'm sure whatever you said was mean, but we need the... You're muted.
Yes. Yeah, it was just, you're blessed. You're blessed. You're a blessed slave. Way to go.
Aren't you a slave as well, is what he says?
I'm a gladiator. I'm a celebrity.
Oh, well, yes. Gladiators are the best of our of slave folk. He doesn't disagree with you. And in fact, he seems he tries very hard to agree with you.
So how is it you're a slave, but you got that fat?
I can cook, is what he says.
But it's not supposed to be for you.
But how do I know if it's good if I don't try the food? You should never
it's a
trust
bite, it's a bite, not 3 helpings. Come on, look at you. This is ridiculous.
But would you like to try some?
Yes, I would.
Okay. The stew is a little bit cold, but it's good. He grabs his pot.
You know, I've got questions about why you've got stew, like, before lunch, but after breakfast, but I'm not going to bother, because this is really good. I see how you got so fat. It's awesome.
He nods and smiles. He doesn't seem to be ashamed of his of his largesse. He likes to eat, man. He likes to eat. All right.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Let us go to the world of Tarak and see where you guys are at. You guys are at Drakkar, the city of pagodas. You're traveling out of the hills next to a place that is called the Warrens, and then across a bridge to the capital of the Duchy of Vyvern, named Vyvernas, on the edge of the territory of Kazdarak, which is the name of the Duergar kingdom, or duchy, I guess. There are no more kings. I think we need a random encounter roll as we're leaving the mountains. We need one as we're passing by the Warrens, and one as we're entering into a new duchy. So I need 3 1d100 rolls. I will let the chat roll 3 of these things. Be nice to the person who cooks for you. You may end up shooting things out of both ends. Okay, there is no random encounter as you are leaving. You're leaving the mountains. You guys are now traveling along along the dusty trails. As you're approaching the Warrens areas, kind of like Jawas to the rocky areas of Tatooine, kobolds are everywhere in the Warrens. You see signs of their tracks. Apparently, they do ride large lizards. You see little settlements buried into the sides of hills with thousands of little windows and doors. Not a lot of the kobolds come and approach the road, but you do get the sense that there are many eyes upon you as you are traveling these miles next to the Warrens. With the dangerous deserts and drylands and scrublands of the Duchy of Zengar to your left, you've got the equally, perhaps dangerous Warrens of kobolds to the right. I need another percentile. The first one I see in chat will be the one I take. Kobolds, as far as the eyes can see. Yeah, one more
D100, folks.
One more D100. Let's see if kobolds en masse. Lemmy, you're pretty close. Basically, when I do the random encounters, it's 20 or less for the random encounter. There are, at one point, some kobold traders that come down. They are offering you minor goods and are trying to get a deal out of you guys. Radimer ends up scaring them away.
Just by speaking.
No, he ends up scaring them away by channeling negative energy, and then by yelling.
Well, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, basically a 30-foot radius of darkened energy comes out of the end of his at the end of his scythe, and he's like bark, and yells at all of them. He doesn't kill any of them. He just does it to make a visual effect. Let's see how effective his intimidate was. Radimer, think. Disgusting creatures. We'll give him a +2 because he's using a highly visual spell to do it, and it looks scary. 19, not too bad. Enough to scare away some traitor kobolds fleeing back into the Warrens. As you're approaching Vyvernas, you might be on the edge of the control of certain magical artifacts that have been already alluded to. You are also on the edge of the Glyphmere Fens, which is a stinking mire or a swamp at the side of the sea. Let me expose a little bit more of that map for you, so you can see where you are. The Glyphmere Fens. Boop. Basically, there's some lowlands where some rivers travel out of the mountain ranges and deposit into some stinking mosquito-infested fens. So you're in a dangerous part where the Duchy of Zengar doesn't seem to patrol its borders very well.
Okay.
And this is the border to Vyvernas. Vyvernas might defend their borders on the other side of the river quite well. So you're in a dangerous spot. I'm going to say there's a 30% chance there's a random encounter. We're going to roll to see if it's hills, desert, or swamp. With a chance of it being just a errant wyvern. So percentile roll, 30% or lower is what I'm looking for. Saving throw against dire goblin malaria.
Dire goblin.
93. We're clear.
93. You guys seem to are lucky in this time of year. Yes, Vyvernas is well patrolled. You end up being taxed a little bit, which Radimer is able to pay with your winnings. And you begin to approach Vyvernas. You do see that there are a great number of wyverns that are flying in the sky. They seem to be concentrated around this mountainous city. And I'm going to switch maps because this map is getting pretty big. It'll take me a second to do. Give me a second.